Okay. Well, it looks like it's just you and me today.
I wouldn't do that to y'all.
I joked him away.
I wouldn't do that to y'all.
He didn't like my pun on her name.
So let's get down to this breakdown of this story, huh?
Yeah.
So
It's about that time.
Yeah.
We're hitting our mark.
Yeah. So Riley exists, and she's still playing hockey.
Yeah, isn't it just like a few years later? Or something
Yeah,
like
she's
that?
going from middle school to high school, so it's like 2 or 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she was moving like right on the cusp of middle school or something like that in the first one. So now she's playing hockey. She's got good close friends, making a lot of memories. There's this new thing in the emotions bank called the core beliefs.
Yeah, she's getting to that age.
Yeah, where she creates memories of herself and uses them to create personal beliefs of who she is. And at the beginning of the movie, she fully believes that she's a good person, which is
Misguided.
nice. Yeah, it's misguided.
But I mean, it's good.
Much like the first movie, I remember going into the first movie and being like, I don't know if this is a good idea, and that's usually the point of the movie. And it is in this one too. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
She wasn't thinking about how she stole from her parents and tried to run away.
Yeah.
When she was calling herself a good person, she just
just
about
core
that.
beliefs she is a good person, which I feel like tracks for a kid is that they like firmly believe that they're just a good person.
We all like to think that we're good people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the bad ones.
Yeah.
Think that they're good people.
So Riley does a good job at their middle school championship, and her and her friends get scouted for the high school. The high school team is invited to this camp, to which they're all going to go to. And the day that the camp starts is the day that puberty hits for Riley. This construction crew comes in to the console room and just kind of tear everything up. And they make space for the new emotions that are going to be there. And it catches everybody off guard. And that's when we get Maya Hawke anxiety and envy and embarrassment and ennui, which is just boredom. It's like can't be bothered kind of boredom. So they come in, and Joy wrestles for control like she always does, which also feels very on par. And anxiety's like, this is a new world that we're stepping into, and Riley's life has more complex things that require more complex emotions. And so anxiety tries to take over.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that Joy, you could tell, they didn't forget about her growth from the first movie, where she was a little bit more accepting of sadness and feeling a little more balanced in that not all of her core memories have to be good and happy. They can be sad. That's part of being alive and being a person.
Yeah.
And some of those change you for the good, in good ways, just learning lessons from bad experiences, sadness,
but she obviously didn't learn enough because the core beliefs are all happy memories.
Yeah, I think she's.
Oh, and I missed an important thing: is she created a little device to toss the bad ones away, shove them to the back of the mind.
Yeah, she still has some growing to do, but I noticed that a lot of the memories, the newer ones,
they're very mixed. Yeah,
they have sadness and joy and some of the other things kind of mixed in there, which is good.
Again, very good.
Balance, just like the way the Force should be. Balanced.
Yeah, balanced
within the person,
as we've discussed,
not separately in two factions, but balanced within the person.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was a different one, which I think technically
Inside Out 2 does a really good job of doing what I thought the Rise of Skywalker was doing.
Should have done.
Yeah.
Should have done. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to go back to that one, actually, that one's going to come out after this one. So
after this one, we recorded it before.
So spoilers on that review for us. That's what we're talking. We talk about that a lot. Anyways, so Riley goes to this camp. She's got very conflicting emotions now, like any good adolescent does.
Or normal adolescent.
She learns that her friends are going to go to a different school than her, and so it comes up with this conflicting, like, do I stay and hang out with my friends, or do I make a good impression and make new friends before I go off to high school? Well, what do I do?
Can I say it was kind of, can I say this in this review? Kind of a dick move on her friend's parts by not telling her sooner that, like, they were going to a different high school than her, and then it just came out on the trip. Like, that was kind of...
Are you telling me that teenagers can be dicks? No.
Yes, everybody can be...
That's like against everything this movie was trying to talk about.
Yeah, but I mean, I just wanted to point that out because, like...
Yeah. No, that was a bad one.
Like,
yeah, it would ruin my weekend for sure.
Oh, yeah. And she had to... And that's the worst part is that she had to figure it out. It's so funny that disgust is the one that is so observant to notice that in both of them. It's like...
Zoom in on that.
Yeah. It's like, wait. Something's off with their face.
It's both of their disgust.
What are you talking about? Yeah, both the disgust were just like, something's off with there. She's lying. And then the other disgust is like, oh, no, look at her face. She knows we're lying.
Yeah.
So...
it is very funny. And then, so Riley goes and she tries to make good impressions, and of course, Joy and Anxiety are fighting it out, and it causes problems.
Anxiety is the joy of Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Anxiety has the
Joy's character arc.
Well,
in the second one. Just being
they kind of like push it forward. Yeah, she's just overly controlling and pushy about what she wants.
What Joy.
Yeah, I don't think Anxiety gets a good character development. I think Anxiety just gets the like very brief. Okay, I was wrong, and then moves back into working with everybody.
And then Joy has to fix everything.
Yeah,
by giving her a little spot to calm down in.
Yeah,
tea and I don't know what else.
It's good.
Comfy chair.
The comfy chair is important. So Anxiety gets kind of fed up with Joy and the rest of them, and decide to bottle them up and ship them out of there.
Hey, bottling up your emotions is never a good idea.
Yeah,
it's.
I did say that. I did say it to Sybil while we were watching the movie. That two things probably would have solved this really easily. It's therapy and Lexapro. Either one of those.
This is not a sponsored video.
No, I also I don't like medication. I don't take it. I do therapy though. Therapy is important. Get a therapist. It might help out. They got comfy chairs, just like Anxiety gets at the end of this movie.
Yeah, you're not too good for therapy.
No, you're not too good for therapy. Therapy is also not for broken people. It's like getting a car tune up. It's like you need to get your oil changed, but as a person.
You need to get your inside tuned up.
Yeah. You need to get your insides out. Too. Thank you.
That was good. That was good.
The little rim
Put it in the comments if you like that one.
Yeah. Rate the jokes. Tell us how many are hits and how many are misses.
Was that joke better than my pun and we joke?
Awful pun. Okay. Where am I in the story?
The more awful a pun, the better the pun, right? Isn't that a paradox? It's kind of like dad jokes. The more awful it is, the more better it is.
Yeah. The bigger the groan, the better the pun.
Yeah.
So Riley ends up going against her core beliefs, and the reason why she does that is because Anxiety, before she ships them off, takes the core beliefs little trophy talisman thing and shoots it off into the back of the mind, just like all the other bad memories.
If Joy wasn't still
Joy usually is the one who causes the problems that need to be solved, but that's
yeah, they get bottled up.
I don't know if that's
out there too.
Does Joy usually cause all of our problems internally? Put in the comments. So
it's about balance.
The emotions, the regular ones, joy, fear, anger, disgust, they gotta find their way back. Sadness, gotta find their way back to central. But as they're like escaping the whatever, there's like little bit characters like Riley's deep dark secret stuff that show up.
We never figured out what that was.
You didn't stay to the end credits?
Did I? I think I missed it.
There was an end credit scene.
Oh my gosh, shame on me.
There's an end credit scene. Haven't you learned? Haven't you learned from Marvel? You always stay.
I guess I'll learn by this review what it was.
Yeah,
hopefully
maybe.
Tell me.
Maybe I'll tell you. Put in the comments.
So, and then of course the one video game character.
Yeah, that Riley
is
attracted to, and Disgust is also attracted to.
Yeah, just so in love with.
Yeah, they escape out of the.
What's the other guy? The cartoon one.
Oh, Bluefy.
With the little bag.
Yeah.
Playing on Blue's Clues.
Yeah, which was all very, very fun. It was very well animated. All of those characters were, because they're like in their actual art style.
Yeah.
Which is neat. I always like when they break the boundaries of things, like Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Are you aware of that one?
So good.
Your brain looked
So
like it
good.
broke for a moment.
No. I was just. I wanted
Space
you to,
Jam.
I wanted you to question me whether or not I'd seen it. Of course, I've seen it, Michael.
Okay, great. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
It's so good. It's
still up there.
so good today.
It's still
You can watch
definitely
it
one of the best
tomorrow and
ones.
just be like,
Yeah, it's very good. Very well done.
So
Riley, in the real world, Riley's making friends in middle school, high school friends.
yeah.
And they keep on teasing her a lot,
Well, yeah.
make
her friends
doubt herself.
Yeah, her friends, when she found out that they were leaving,
She wanted-
anxiety kind of was
figure
like,
it out.
well, we need to stop investing in them.
Yeah, we got to think about our
Invest in
future.
the future, which is the high schoolers. So that kind of is a main.
Yeah, it's a main theme.
Yeah,
That anxiety thinks for the future, not for the right now.
yeah, which
is kind of true. And the movie, I think, at the end does a really good point of not saying like anxiety is a bad thing. It's that anxiety is supposed to think about the future for what the future should be thought about, not about the like cataclysmic whatever things that are going to happen.
everything has its time and place, and should
Yeah.
be balanced,
Yeah. And anxiety should have a little comfy chair and some tea.
and not be in control of everything.
Definitely not in control of everything.
So she's
Which is
so
what
she's-
we've learned from this movie.
Yeah, so Riley's hanging out with the high schoolers. 'Cause
Yeah,
she thinks,
and she keeps on changing who she is as a person just to try to impress them and move forward with her life. And at the same time, anxiety's taking all of these new memories of anxious things that she's doing and is throwing them into the pool for a new core belief system.
Yeah, and I want to make a point, a real life, just expression about anxiety. You noticed in the movie, and I think this is true for real life, which I think they did a good job of portraying, is that if you let fear and or anxiety kind of control your actions, it will likely compromise your morals in order to do so.
Yeah.
I think that when we make decisions based on fear, it causes a lot more damage than we expect, and collateral damage as well in our lives. Because, I mean, man, I'll just throw out an example. Like someone who is extremely insecure and jealous, you will hurt that relationship more than you will help it if that's what drives your motivations in the relationship is fear and jealousy.
Yeah.
You will poison that relationship because trust is something that's, if you don't got that in a relationship, then you don't have much of a relationship, I would say. So I know there are a lot of people that struggle with anxiety. That's not something that's necessarily been something I've experienced anxiety, but not to the extent I've heard of a lot of friends. But you have to be careful. If you can acknowledge that you struggle with anxiety, that's something that you should talk to a therapist about. But also, it's just something, as you see it with Riley and anxiety being at the wheel, it really compromised a lot of her values and the things that truly are important, like her friendships. And it kind of hurt those, and it didn't help her in the long run. So making your decisions based off of fear and anxiety, understanding that sometimes life is just going to happen. It's not necessarily about preventing bad things from happening, but making sure that you're prepared to respond correctly in those situations. Preparing yourself for the situations is important, but not trying to necessarily force outcomes. You know what I'm saying? It's about growing your personal, who you are as a person, to handle whatever situation arises.
Thanks for joining us for episode 2 of Jarvis Does Therapy. Shout out to whoever in the comments can tell me what episode was episode 1 of that.
I don't even remember at this point.
Basically, the rest of the plot of the movie ends up with Joy realizing that she can't be in control of everything ever, and it's pushing through and trying to do what she believes is best is important. Going back, getting the core belief that Riley's a good person, and then finding a way back to Central by essentially flooding the entire brain with all of the rejected memories that end up bleeding into the core belief system.
Well, their journey to that spot with I thought was kind of neat was the flowing on the stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Back to the backside of the brain where she put all the things she didn't like.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, there's many more than I remember putting here.
Yeah, I think the sarcasm was super...
The sarcasm was a good bit.
Yeah, that was a good bit. I really like that.
A very good bit.
Yeah. So they get to the back of the brain
and get right back to the front.
Yeah, because anxiety destroys the
little tube.
Sadness stayed behind and went back to the headquarters so that she could bring him back through the ejection tube or whatever that was called.
The tube.
And anxiety destroyed it when they found Sadness. They captured her, destroyed the tube, and then they got to the back and were...
Yeah. And when they got back, there was Riley was having an anxiety attack. So back in real life, she was trying to impress the coach of this new team that she found out was not impressed with her yet for some reason. Who knows?
Oh, well, she snuck out at night because...
Yeah, and learned from the secret journal that the coach says she's not ready yet.
Yeah.
And so Riley was like, I know what to do. I'm going to stay up all night and think about how to do better, and then I'm going to score 3 points, more than anybody's ever done in one of these camps, and is a jerk about it, and ends up tripping up her friend Grace, and then getting put in the penalty box, and that's what causes her anxiety attack.
She also stole the puck from her teammate.
Yeah, which is a dick move.
Yeah. So
as we've established, and so Joy and the gang show back up during the middle of an anxiety attack, and all the other emotions are like, we don't know what to do. And so they try to pull that little new anxiety core belief off. Yeah, that does say that I'm not enough. That's the new core belief, and anxiety also got very anxious about that. It's also caused the whole attack in the first place. And so anxiety's just going around the console, just pushing every button over and over and over. And a
hurricane of anxiety, which from what I hear, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
For those who struggle with
everything
anxiety.
At the same time happens all at once.
Yeah.
Everything, everywhere, all at once in the brain.
Yeah, that's bad.
Very bad. It was bad in the movie too, as we learned. In both of them. So. Joy's like, hey, I can't get this thing off. Or actually, no, they did get the thing off, and then didn't stop anything. So Joy had to go into the anxiety attack and be like, hey, you need to let go. You need to just let go for a minute.
She's like, relax.
Yeah, and so anxiety lets go. Storm calms down, and then the core beliefs go kind of nuts, and nobody knows what to do because the core beliefs are just like scrolling through the emotions, just creating new different things for Riley, and Riley's freaking out. And so what does Joy do? Hugs. And that's the moral of the story.
Hugs fix everything, which is a truth that's undeniable.
Yeah.
Just like Ponyo will make your life better if you watch it, because that was a study.
Or the Last Jedi is bad.
It was garbage. Yeah. Hot space garbage.
Hey, you.
How'd you like that episode? Did you like it?
You like movies? You like this one?
Do ya?
You should subscribe to this channel right now.
Also, as well.
Yeah. You got friends? Yeah, you do.
Do you? Hopefully.
Show it to them. Show this to them.
Prove it to us you got friends.
There's other videos to watch too. Why don't you watch those if you're so cool?
Yeah, prove you're not a bot. Leave a comment.
Nerd.